Hey everyone, and welcome back. Today we're diving into the book of Ezra, specifically chapters 7 and 8. This is where things get really exciting because after a long pause in the story, a new major player steps onto the scene, Ezra himself. So who is this guy? The Bible introduces him as a priest and a scribe, someone who was an expert in the law of Moses, but he wasn't just book smart. He was a man of action with a deep passion for God's word. The story picks up years after the first group of exiles returned to Jerusalem and rebuilt the temple. Now, a new king is on the throne of Persia, Artaxerxes. And this king gives Ezra an incredible letter. It is basically a royal decree giving Ezra full permission to lead another group of Israelites back to Jerusalem. But it's more than just a permission slip. The king tells Ezra to take gold, silver, and offerings, not just from the Jews, but from the king's own treasury. This was a huge deal. It showed God's amazing favor and how he can turn the hearts of even the most powerful rulers. King Artaxerxes' letter is really specific. He tells Ezra to use the money to buy animals for sacrifices. And whatever is left over, Ezra and his companions can use as they see fit according to God's will. The king also exempts all the priests, Levites, and temple workers from paying any taxes. He even gives Ezra the authority to appoint magistrates and judges to teach and enforce God's law. This wasn't just about rebuilding a city. It was about re-establishing a society centered around God and his commands. Ezra's response is pure gratitude. He says, "Praise be to the Lord, the God of our ancestors, who has put it into the king's heart to bring honor to the house of the Lord in Jerusalem." He recognized that this wasn't just good luck. It was the hand of God at work. So Ezra gathers the people. Chapter 8 lists the family heads who are ready to make the long and dangerous journey with him. They assemble by a river ready to go. But before they set off, Ezra noticed something important is missing. He takes a head count and realizes there are no Levites among the group. The Levites were crucial for serving in the temple, so this was a problem. Ezra doesn't panic. He sends some leaders to a place called Caesarea to ask for ministers for the house of God. And because, as Ezra says, the good hand of our God was on us, they succeeded. A group of skilled Levites and temple servants agreed to join them. Now they're ready to go, but there's one more hurdle. The journey from Babylon to Jerusalem was about 900 miles and would take around 4 months. It was a dangerous road, filled with potential enemies and bandits. They were also carrying a massive amount of treasure. The logical thing to do would be to ask the king for an armed escort, for soldiers and horsemen to protect them. But Ezra had already told the king, "The good hand of our God is on everyone who looks to him, but his great anger is against all who forsake him." He felt it would be a poor witness to ask for human protection after making such a bold statement of faith in God's power. So what does he do? He proclaims a fast. He and all the people with him humble themselves before God, praying for a safe journey for themselves, their children, and all their possessions. This is a powerful moment of choosing faith over fear, of relying on God's protection instead of human strength, and their prayer is answered. They set off on their journey, and Ezra writes that God protected them from the hands of enemies and bandits along the way. They arrive safely in Jerusalem. And after resting for 3 days, they weigh out all the silver, gold, and sacred articles at the temple. Everything is accounted for. They then offer burnt offerings to God, celebrating his faithfulness. Ezra delivers the king's letters, and the mission begins. These chapters are an incredible testament to leadership, faith, and God's sovereign hand guiding his people. It's a reminder that when we commit our ways to God, he directs our steps and provides for our needs in ways we could never imagine. Thanks so much for watching today. I hope this was encouraging for you. If you enjoyed this, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more. See you next time.